Very good evening, friends. Meeting again in the session of Stuart Close philosophy. And since yesterday, we have started with new chapter, that is chapter number 9 from the Stuart Close book, The Genius of Homeopathy, The Cure and Recovery. Just an introductory part which we have learned. And he has started with the recall of medical profession, what it was at the time of Hahnemann, and how Hahnemann have changed the concepts. And he has explained over there that in the first aphorism and second aphorism, Hahnemann have explained two important things, that if you what should be a physician's mission, and if if you know the physician's mission is cure, how it should be achieved. And in both the aphorisms, he explained that as it is termed in the first aphorism and in the second aphorism, according to our on easily comprehensible principles. So what he explained, that if you are treating with homeopathy, it should be a science. It should not be just a thought. It should not be a speculation. There should be a logic. It should not be illogical. And that's why Hahnemann have very specifically mentioned, as it is termed, means according to the 7 cardinal principles of homeopathy, or according to all 7 cardinal principles of homeopathy, which are easily comprehensible to anyone. And that's what he is explaining. And at the same time, when he started about explaining about the principle, then there comes an art. When you have to apply the principles, second important part which comes is the art. It not only remains science, but it becomes an art. And that's why homeopathy is a medical science. Is not only the medical science, but it also an art. That's what it has been said, and it is truth. Because you know all whole science, you know all the principles very perfectly, you know all the medicines very perfectly, but you don't know how to apply it. You don't know the art of applying it, then you fails. And that's why in this specific paragraph on page number 123, we have discussed the first paragraph. And last sentence of that first paragraph was very important. Simplicity, comprehensibility is the highest criteria of the truth, and it is definitely there. The greatest truth is always simple, and that's what we have discussed in the concluding lecture. Let us go ahead with next sentence, which has a meaning. The medicine in general and therapeutics in particular are authoritatively classified under the arts, or among the arts. Very important point which he has highlighted over there. Very important, because unless and until you develop that art, it is not possible to catch what happens in the patient, what happened, what is wrong with the patient. You have to understand what is wrong with the patient, because of which he becomes ill. It is not just finding it out what pathology is there. You must know how this pathology has evolved, why this fellow is deceased at the center. To understand that is an art. It might be possible with the interrogation, with the perception, with the perceiving faculty, but you have to deal with the patient. You have to understand what patient is saying, what the patient, how the patient is behaving, what sentences he is uttering, in what state he comes, how he looks, what are the expressions which are there on the patient's faces. You should be able to read all those things, which is called as non-verbal communication. And that is an art. Non-verbal communication is an art. You just look toward the patient and you find something is wrong, but what is wrong, that you have to understand. If you are able to understand, then that it means that your art you have applied in order to understand the medicine, the disease part of the human being. Then if you are able to understand the disease part of the human being, then you will be able to find it out what the proper homeopathic management. Then with the artistic view, you will exactly find it out what is the thing on which you have to prescribe. You must be able to differentiate what is useful for you for the prescription and what is not useful for you for the prescription. What is useful for the diagnosis and what is useful for the therapeutics. Both the aspects are necessary. But whatever is necessary for the understanding the medicine is not useful for the prescription in homeopathy, but whatever is not applicable to diagnose the case, which is characterizing individuality, that is useful for you for the therapeutics. So that becomes an art. If you grab that art, then it is possible to produce the results. Without an art, it is not possible. And that's why that sentence has meaning. What he said, medicine in general and therapeutics in particular are authoritatively classified among the arts. From time immemorial, the practice of medicine has been called the art of healing. Hence, a cure is a product of art. Let us consider what is meant by art. So now he is turning to art, and we have to understand this. And not only understand, we have to perceive that, we have to develop that in ourselves. We should be able to catch what the patient is talking. We should be able to catch what patient is expressing. When he enters inside your clinic, whenever he enters inside your clinic, how he expresses, what he expresses, how he enters, what he wants to say, what he wants to interpret, or what he is interpreting, that is an art. If you are able to catch. Patient comes all of a sudden, opens the door and enter. Doctor, may I come in? It has meaning because that is an individuality of that individual. He's in a hurry. Question is why he is in a hurry. If he is in a hurry, then also you must put a question, why is he in so hurry? Is it his nature or because of some reason he is in a hurry? Why he has entered in your room so abruptly? You catch, this is abrupt, but abrupt behavior, but behind that abrupt behavior, you have to understand, is there anything or it is his own nature? Whenever your patient comes to your OPD, keep your ears open. You should be able to catch what is happening over there. That is an art. You have to be. Your all senses. You should have sound senses. That's what Hahnemann says. That is an art. Patient sitting in your waiting room, coughing. Patient is coughing over there. Your art should work. You should be able to understand what is happening. You must be able to catch what is going on. Your ears should be open to listen that sound, the way he is coughing. Cough, paroxysmal, sudden paroxysmal, consisting of one cough, single remedy, calcarea. This is an art. This is what you have to catch. Every point which is necessary, that's an art that you have to develop in order to become a good homeopath. Whatever Close is saying over here has a lot of meaning. Every sentence we have to understand from this point, and that's why he starts expressing about art. And now let us see, let us consider what is meant by art. Art defined. Art is practice guided by correct principles in the use of means for the attainment of desired end. See the definition, what he has done. Very perfect definition. Art is practice guided by the correct principles in the use of means for attainment of the desired end. We'll take simple example. How do you start writing? Anyone knows? Does it happens within a day? How do you teach to your children to write down, to write the words? Now it has become more scientific, and that science ultimately expresses in art, and then his handwriting becomes an artistic. Then it becomes attractive. Then you start expressing that you draw the lines first, then the horizontal lines, then the vertical lines, then the arrows, then the half circles, then that circle, half circle with different directions, then the whole circle. All things with which you develop an art inside the child, and then you teach him very specifically a word, word by word. Then gradually he starts writing out the words completely, single word to the big words. Then he starts making sentences, writing down the sentences. The science is getting converted into an art. It is a practice. It is not a part and parcel with which you are born. There are very few who are lucky enough who are born with such artistic aptitude. Rest of the people develop their art. You have to catch, you have to develop. And that is what is called as a practice. And that's what in definition he says, art is a practice guided by correct principles. You should define it, and the way you define it, in that way you have to go on doing the practice to the use to of means for attainment of desired end. So you are doing that practice which in order to achieve something, in order to reach to that something goal, destination. An artist is one who is skilled in applying knowledge or ability to the accomplishment of the concrete purpose. Everyone is having a different art. You have seen the carpenters. They have that specific art. It has been there from, it runs in their families many times. And they do the carpenter work. They learn it very easily, and they do the use of that. All the pencil is there over here. There is a square is there, and they used to do many your tables, the stools, the benches, everything they prepares, and they prepares it so nicely. If you are the student of a engineering, you know whole mathematics, you know the scale, use of scale, you know the use of pencil, you know all instruments in order to make the table. And if it has been asked, you do that. Is it possible that you will going to do the same fine work which has been done by that carpenter, like that carpenter from yourself? Does it happen? No. Because he has become a carpenter, because he has used it since long time and he has practiced it. It is a big practice which has made him such an artistic carpenter. This happens, it takes years together. Years together. Today you have one big fellow who is in 96 years of age or 92 years of age, Mr. Ram Sutar, who has got the Padma Shri, who is developing a big art over there in that Ram Mandir. Eagle, I think the big eagle he is developing at the age of 96, and he got the Padma Shri. I met him 10 years back, I think. Yes, around 10 years back, I met him. I saw his studio. I saw whatever he has worked. Since childhood, he was doing that. He has given us nearly about 1 hour's time. And every sentence uttered by him is there in my mind. It is a very big hard work, which led him to get the Padma Shri. This is what is an art. Art never develops within a day. It requires a lot of practice to develop. Same is true when you have to become an artistic prescriber. You must develop a practice. An artist is one who is skilled in applying knowledge or ability to accomplish of a concrete purpose. So artist is the one who is skilled in applying the knowledge. You know whole thing. You know the materia medica, you know the organon, you know the repertory, but you don't know how to apply it. Practical application of the knowledge is become an art. ability to the accomplishment of a concrete purpose. My purpose is to get cure in the patient. Then whatever knowledge I am having, I have to use the art. I have to listen. You have to, I have to understand. I have to see what is uncommon, what is characteristic, what is very important that I will going to utilize for the purpose of preparation. Then I will prescribe. So whenever you are applying whatever the knowledge is there for a certain purpose is become an art. So accomplishment of of a concrete purpose. Psychologically, art is the superior work of reason. See, psychologically, art is the superior work of reason and intelligence. Two important words which he has used. Superior work of reason. Reason means what? Reason means thought. Hahnemann says in his definition of vital force, the human being is gifted with the science, gifted with the reasoning. He has given a reasoning gift. Means what? Fine. Hahnemann said he has reason gifted mind is given to the human being. Reason means a thinking capacity, a logic. Logic is a gift given to the human being. Art is logical. You think prior doing it. It never happens automatically. It takes a long time to think. First is reasoning, then it expresses in the art. So what he says is very true. Art is a superior work of reason and intelligence. What is intellect? It's a humor which I used to make always. Intellect, I ask the students what is the definition of intellect, and they don't define it. Then I say the faculty which is absent in us is intellect. Intellect is that part of brain which, with the help of memory and logic, comes to a deduction, comes to a conclusion. It's called as a intellect. Intellect should be there. The intellect is needed. The reasoning is needed. Then art comes. Without that, it never comes. Behind everything, there is these two faculties works. So it is a superior work of reason and intelligence actuated by sense of beauty. Then beauty originates. Then it comes, expresses in the form of beauty. Otherwise, it never. And the eternal fitness of the things. So when you have to, you will going to see different peoples, and you get attracted by certain people because you are getting attracted to his art, which is expressing in him. Whenever the Amitabh Bachchan he is talking, you go on listening, whether it is movie, whether it is Kaun Banega Karodpati, whatever it may be, the way he presents is an art. It is the superior faculty of his reasoning as well as intellect which comes out, which expresses. But does it has happened on day one? It never happened on day one. It took Amitabh to work for it for years together. And since last 50 years, 60 years, he is doing that. Then the art comes out. Then you get attracted towards that beauty. Art transcends nature. It represents the victory of mind over the matter, of man over the nature. The artist can take a hint from nature and devise some quicker and better way of accomplishing certain purposes, as when homeopathic artist takes the crude material and that nature provides and adapts them directly to therapeutic ends by potentiation, rendering them harmless, more active, more potent, more assimilable, hence more efficient. So it is, see, again, very nicely he has mentioned. He mentioned art transcends the nature. It gets grasp the nature, understands it, and then that nature, whatever he got from nature, he converts it. He tries to get a victory over that with the help of his intelligence, with the help of his reasoning, and then it expresses. You have seen many times when you are watching the television, some reality shows or somewhere, and you get attracted towards certain beauty. It's not a thing which that fellow used to do within a day. It takes long period to practice for that, and then he grabs, then he overcomes over that. And this is what the same thing happens when we deal with the homeopathy. We 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 take the things from the nature only. We know arsenic is a poison. We know the rustox is the poison. We know the aconite is the poison. But same aconite, same rustox, same arsenic, we used to use, we used to make it more and more and more and more finer. At the same time, increasing the energy by the method of potentization, according to the scientific methods of preparation. We make it infinite simple, where there is no matter remains, but what remains is an energy. The same entity from the nature we used to take into consideration and we used to utilize for the purpose of healing. The toxic products becomes the medicines. See how beautiful it is. So see how nice it is. And what is there? There are two important parts comes together. One is science and second is art. With the help of that, you achieve whatever the cure you desire. And this is what art, this is the art which one has to develop within himself. Then it is possible to go ahead. These are very essential things which he tried to explain over there. So he is explaining the concepts and how those concepts are utilized in homeopathy. This art, concept of art is most essential concept. There, I have seen the practitioners who listens to the patients for a single minute and they get whatever they needed and they prescribe and then prescribe and they get the result. What they have grasped what is unusual, what is characteristic from the patient within a minute. I have seen they have developed that, but it is not within a day they have developed. They have practiced for it for years together. There, I have seen certain practitioners who were too busy. One case, one of my senior friend, he has told me that one of the fellow who was the senior practitioner, very senior homeopathic practitioner, he never had a time, but he was coming to Mumbai and one patient wanted to meet him. And patient was not able in a condition to go over there in Delhi. He said, I have time in the airport only. When I will leave the airport, I will and carry my luggage. That much time is there. You meet me over there. I will give the time. And he met, that fellow met him. And he was just having a case. It was a chronic case, something related with the severe COPD, not getting settled with even regular allopathic medicines, even not with homeopathic medicines. And this fellow went over there, talked to him, Dr. Saab, कुछ भी करो आप, कितना टाइम लगेगा करो, लेकिन मेरी ये बीमारी आप ठीक करो. He grasped That sentence sufficient. Within 2 minutes, with patient's nature, he grasped. He told to his assistant, give him pulsatilla 200. That's all. 3 doses, nothing required. Tell me after 1 month what has happened. Give me a call. He has catched whatever is needed. The mild, gentle tone of that angel. Carried desires to be carried slowly from that angel. Within a minute, he grasped the patient's totality and said he this remedy and he has prescribed and he got the result. But to understand that depth of the rubric, it took years for him, years together to learn each and everything from the book. And this is what is an art. In this chapter, we have to learn such many things, then you learn what is exactly cure and recovery. So that's all for today. We'll meet on Monday with next session. And today night, we'll going to learn one remedy, ammonium carbonicum, a very important polycrest from Materia Medica from third year syllabus. We're going to learn at 8 o'clock. Be there and meet again. Thank you and good night.